Hey everyone, I'm Allison.
And I'm Bryce.
And we're Better Half Reviews. And today we are looking at the game Night Parade of 100 Yokai, published by Brueh Games and designed by Brueh.
Night Parade is steeped in Japanese folklore, where you activate parades of yokai, or Japanese spirits, that go out and dance and celebrate across the islands.
If you've ever seen the movie Spirited Away, some of this lore will sound a little bit familiar.
So let's jump into the game.
Here we have a setup for a 4-player game. You can be either bears, cats, frogs, or foxes, and every player starts with 3 yokai. Also, every player will start with 10 meeples and 5 tories. Each player also starts with 3 spirits. On your turn, you'll activate a parade by flipping over this scroll to show which parade you're activating.
Once you've activated parade, you can take 1 meeple per card that you have. Obviously, at the beginning, you only have 1 card to start with, and you can place the meeples in the corresponding color of card. So this is a green card, so I can place 1 of my meeples on any of the islands that have a green symbol on it. And if you look at the islands, up at the top left, that's where you have the color symbols. So there's blue, green, yellow, and red. So I can choose to place my meeple on any one of the green symbols. So I can place it here. And with that tile, you'll notice just below that, there's a number 4. You need to place 4 of your meeples before you can claim that tile for your own and place a torii instead. A key thing to note, if you have a couple of meeples that you can place down, you cannot put 2 meeples on the same space. You have to pick different green spaces. And when you've placed your meeples, you also get to collect the rewards for the cards that you have. So here this card shows a talisman. So I get to gain 1 talisman.
Other rewards include spirits, being able to move your meeples that are already placed on the board, or kicking out another player's meeple that's on the same space as your meeple.
So when you're placing your meeples, if you notice this one says that you only need 3, say that I've just placed my 3rd meeple there. So now that you have the desired number for that island to take control, you take the meeples away, and you can now place a torii. And the tories are like a gateway. So you have also claimed this island. If you are the first person to place a torii, you gain the rewards listed on the tile. And in this case would be 1 spirit. Typically, the higher the number of island, the more rewards you can receive. So this one says you need 6 meeples, and you would get 3 spirit and a star, which could be anything from spirits to straight victory points. On the bottom right side of the tile, you see that it has the torii symbol and numbers. That's the number of different tories that can be placed on that island before it's full. You cannot place more than 1 torii per island.
Even though you can't place another torii on that island, another player would be able to build on that island. But when that second player builds there, they wouldn't get the bonus. So only the first person that builds. Once you've finished placing your meeples and your tories, if you can, and you've earned your rewards, it's time to buy more yokai. There's 3 different sets of yokai. This set costs 2 spirits and a talisman. This set costs 4 spirits and a talisman. This set costs 6 spirits and a talisman.
The higher number of spirits that you need to spend, typically the more abilities or resources you will earn.
So currently, after this turn, I have 3 spirits and a talisman. I could buy, say, this yokai, and I would return these spirits and this talisman to the supply. Alternatively, if I didn't want to buy a yokai on this turn, any talismans I have at the end of the turn get turned into spirits. So you don't carry talisman over from turn to turn.
So one strategy you may have is that you save up for a while, and then you'll be able to buy a really powerful yokai. But the stronger you build up some of your parades, the more resources you'll be able to get, and you can even buy more than 1 yokai per turn.
And just say you don't like any of the yokai in a stack you're looking at buying, you can spend 1 spirit to put the yokai back into the deck, shuffle, and draw 2 new yokai.
All right, so you can't activate the same parade in consecutive turns. So that's what these little scrolls are for. So since it's flipped over, I know that I just used that. So now that it's my turn again, I'm going to flip that. And then I can choose either the blue or the brown. So I'm flipping this one over, and I have 3 cards. So that means that I can place 3 meeples this turn, and I can place it in that color corresponding. And again, you can't place 2 meeples in the same spot per turn. So I need to find 3 different spots to place. So I've placed them all in different areas, and let's look at the abilities I have on my cards. So this shows that I get 3 spirit, 1 talisman, a talisman, and 2 spirits.
So this would be a good setup to buy a high cost card or yokai. You will notice this center tile has a red symbol, and there's no yokai with red symbols. So you have to use other abilities to be able to move onto this tile. And you'll notice that the reward for getting 7 meeples on this tile is 3 of those stars, which again, stars can have points, they could have spirits. They're typically a pretty good thing to get.
The difficult thing about this tile is you only have 10 meeples to work with, so that means that you're putting basically all your resources towards this tile. Another aspect of this game is everybody has a secret objective with these goal cards. And let's take a look at one of these. So at the top of every card is the same. You get 1 point for every Torii you place. But then the following 2 objectives are different for every card. So on this one, you get 2 extra points if you place a Torii where no one else places one. So you basically want to claim islands by yourself. And then this one, for every 3 fist symbols that you have in your parades, you get 1 point.
Here, again, for every Torii you place, you get a point. And this says for every Torii you place on an island with this bonsai tree, you get 2 points. So as you can see on this tile, there's a bonsai tree printed on it.
So it gives you goals for which islands you may want to go after.
And then the bottom objective, for every 3 blue yokai in your parade, you get 1 bonus point.
So the fun thing with these objectives is, the other people don't know what you're going for, but they may be able to guess after they see what you're starting to collect. But it also gives you goals for, you want to activate more blue cards and get more points, or do you want to try to place Tories to get those points? Okay, so when someone places their last Torii, that triggers the end of the game. Everyone else gets 1 more turn. And then you're going to count up your points and reveal your secret objectives. Any leftover spirits or talismans are not worth points at the end of the game, but they are a secondary tiebreaker.
Okay, so that's how you play the game. Let's talk about how we feel about it. Bryce, what are some of the pros?
Well, this game is really easy to teach and pick up, but it does have a lot of strategy in it.
That's true. It's a great gateway game, but I think also experienced players will enjoy it just as much.
So what do you like about it?
I really like the lore of the game, and it reminded me a lot about Spirited Away, and I love Spirited Away, so thinking that I was playing as some of those spirits was just kind of cool to me. And I really love the look of the game. Like, it's very appealing. The artwork is very clear, and all the iconography, it's very distinct and clear, and it's language independent.
And it kind of goes back to that easy to understand aspect of the game where the icons correspond with each other. They're very distinctive, but it's not overwhelming either.
True. I love this game. It's just very straightforward. And then another thing that I really like, and I'm really excited for, because obviously we've only played a prototype of it on Tabletopia. I am so looking forward to those meeples. They are adorable and they're chunky, and I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, they are pretty cute. I like how each of the meeples are very distinctive and they correspond with the other starting pieces.
And that brings up another thing that I like about it, where it is a very simple game, but every faction has just slightly different advantages. And so it just brings out a variability for the game, where you may think, okay, it's super simple, but you may be really good at getting some of those higher cards, but I'm a little bit better at moving my meeples around. So it changes your strategy from game to game, depending on what you choose.
Yeah, so if you're the bears, where you can kick people off tiles really easy, you might, want to spread quickly onto different tiles and then, keep those tiles clear of other players. Whereas the cat might be moving around and moving their tiles onto specific spaces to capture them easier. the frogs and the foxes can buy cards easier to help them, gain tiles kind of later in the game. So I don't know. It all has a different feel, but they're not unbalanced at all. They all kind of have their place, and you could win with any starting faction that you choose.
That's true. When we played our first game, and I was the cats, so I wasn't buying that many cards, and Bryce and Lewis were buying a whole bunch of cards, and I was like, I'm gonna be so behind, and so I'm doing what I can. And when we ended the game, it was like so tight in scoring. Like I think it was a 2-way tie, and then I was down by 1 point. Like it was so close, and that's another thing I like about it is it's very well balanced. Where like just about every game we've played has been super close in scoring.
Yeah, because the scoring is kind of constrained to those specific objectives and specific goals. I don't think you're really able to like run away with it. Even if you feel like you're having a bad game, you could end up winning. I think you had a game where you felt like you were far behind, and then you were like,
oh sweet,
up there at the top. So
yeah,
it is balanced really well, and because you don't know what other people's goals are necessarily, you could prevent them from scoring points inadvertently or whatever.
And one thing about the gold cards, and I'm sure it'll probably be different when I'm actually playing it in person. When I'm playing on Tabletopia, there's been a few times that I kind of forgot what my goal was, and luckily I had it play out to work out okay, because I was like, oh shoot, I forgot that I was supposed to try to collect more of the blue parade. And luckily I had, but if I hadn't, I totally would have lost the game. But so yeah, just don't forget those goals like I did. All right, so let's see if there's any negatives to the game.
So one big negative I could see is it might have limited replayability. There's only so many land tiles in the game, and even though you're going to shuffle the land tiles and kind of set them up differently every game, I can see after, a decent number of plays, it's all going to start kind of feeling the same.
Yeah, that is true. Like every tile that's in the game, you see it every game. But I almost don't mind, because I just really like the game. I like how it's simple and it's easy to play. So even if it starts to feel a bit same with like the setup, I like that there are the different factions in the gold cards. So you can kind of change it up, but I wonder if maybe that might be an expansion down the road to have some different tiles.
I can definitely see how some expansions could really up the replayability for it. And I could see how expansions could fit into the future of this game. But right now I am happy with the amount of factions. I'm happy to pick up a faction I don't feel comfortable with and try different strategies to win with that faction.
Even if it may start to feel like that a little bit, I feel like it doesn't actually hinder it too much, because this is a really great gateway game. So this is a game that I would love to introduce to lots of different people. And so it's a brand new experience for each person I teach it to. And I've already taught it to someone else, and they had a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun teaching it. So I feel like even with the limited number of tiles, there is a lot of replayability in the fact that you can go out and teach it to just about anybody.
And a lot of people like the artwork and the cute meeples and the cute yokai cards. It does draw people into the game.
And the more you look into the lore of things and like maybe the behind the scenes, some of the artwork on the cards are based off of old artwork found on different scrolls and things. So I think that's just like a really cool tidbit. If you look into more of the lore of that, he really did his research, and it shows in some of the artwork. Okay, so Night Parade is not actually released yet. It's coming to Kickstarter on September 20th, so it's coming up really quickly, and I'm really excited for this game.
I am too. I can't wait to get my hands on actual meeples.
Chunky meeples!
And play this game in a physical format.
Definitely. I feel like it would improve the experience even more so. Like, I already like the game, and I think playing the physical copy will be like way better.
Definitely.
And something else I'm really looking forward to, at least in the Kickstarter, is if you back it early, they have these really nice play mats to like put all the tiles and the cards set up. And with like the beautiful artwork, I'm like, I need that play mat.
So I definitely recommend this game. There's a link in the description for the Kickstarter. You can go check it out and get notified when it launches.
So yeah, definitely recommend this game. It's for 1 to 4 players. I'm interested to see what the solo mode is like. But again, it's a fantastic gateway game to introduce to those new people, and it's a fun strategy game for those who are more experienced. All right, so that is Night Parade of 100 Yokai. You guys should go check it out. I'm Allison.
And I'm Bryce.
And we're Better Half Reviews. Happy gaming!
Have fun.